and we will take back our country on November 5th, 2024. On November 5th, 2024. 2024.
He's making videos of himself right now where he's quite literally foaming at the mouth and just spitting, and nobody on his team or no one on the campaign's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't use that. That just shows you what the other takes must look like. Here's another portion of what Donald Trump posted where he just starts spitting uncontrollably. Here, watch this.
Many Republicans like to vote on election day, like to vote on election day, like to vote.
I mean, frankly, this is disgusting, but it's also deeply disturbing, and he's showing a lot of very serious health issues lately as well that I know corporate media wants to ignore. I mean, ignoring the fact that he's making selfie videos spitting and foaming at the mouth is one thing. Let me share with you this right here. This is Donald Trump leaving Trump Tower and just kind of waving to nobody who's there. I mean, spitting, foaming, waving to non-existent people. Here, play this clip.
See you later.
Then Donald Trump went to Charlotte a week or two ago, where he started waving to the crowd to shoot film or to shoot some propaganda footage, and they weren't waving to him. They were watching the NASCAR race, but he does these things where he just waves to nobody, and then I guess his team edits it together. But like, this conduct, this behavior is really disturbing. Here, play this clip. Go back and give you a myriad of other examples, like when Donald Trump in a speech recently said that he'd rather be electrocuted than eaten by sharks. That's one of the things that he's sharing on stage. Play this clip.
But if I'm sitting down and that boat's going down and I'm on top of a battery and the water starts flooding in, I'm getting concerned. But then I look 10 yards to my left and there's a shark over there. So I have a choice of electrocution or shark. You know what I'm going to take? Electrocution. I will take electrocution every single time. Do we agree? I will take electrocution.
Or Donald Trump recently asking if anybody has Tic Tacs. Play the clip.
It's out there because this is, okay, so I just got this today. Somebody handed it to me. It's a weird, and not as a joke. I said, anybody have any Tic Tacs? And the guy said, yeah, I have one. Look at the size of that sucker. Could you...
Or Donald Trump just yelling on stage about President Biden, but he says Joe. He goes, referring to the violent January 6th insurrectionists. Donald Trump, just like a rabid animal, goes, release the hostages, Joe. Release the hostages. Just yelling and spitting and disgusting. Here, play this clip.
What they've done, and they ought to, you know what they ought to do? They ought to release the J6 hostages. They've suffered enough. They ought to release them. I call them hostages. Some people call them prisoners. I call them hostages. Release the J6 hostages, Joe. Release them, Joe. You can do it real easy, Joe. This guy, what he's done to people. And
then, of course, you have Donald Trump recently saying that he praising the late, great Hannibal Lecter. But just think about that. He's devoting his speech to praising a fictional cannibal murderer and thinks Hannibal Lecter's real and says the late, great Hannibal Lecter? Something's going on. Play this clip.
Why? Because that's a vicious thing. I said, that's Silence of the Lamb. You know what that is? Has anybody seen Silence of the Lambs? Hannibal Lecter, how great an actor was he? You know why I like him? Because he said on television, on one of the, I love Donald Trump, so I love him. I love him. I love him. He said that a long time ago, and once he said that, he was in my camp. I was in his camp. Yeah, I don't care if he was the worst actor. I'd say he was great to me.
And of course, a hit dog will holler. Donald Trump, when he's giving his speeches at Mar-a-Lago and elsewhere, insists he's not cognitively impaired, and he wants the crowd and everybody to know that he takes tests, and he all the time apparently, and he is not cognitively declining because he takes these cognitive exams all the time. He says, here, play this clip.
Not easy. You know, they show you the first question, which is a lion, a giraffe, a bear, and a frickin' horse. And they say, which one's the lion? And that's right. And that's what the press went with.
And then in a recent interview with Hannity on his own, Donald Trump brings up again, I took 2 cognitive tests, he says. Here, play this clip.
But I took 2 of them, and I aced both of them, I'm very proud to say, meaning I got it all right.
Ronnie
and
Jackson.
Ronnie Jackson did one. They're not that easy. You know, they show you the first ones are pretty easy. And then you get into the middle category. Then you get to the end questions. Very few people could answer those questions. They're actually very tough.
I've seen the test.
And then, of course, we know about Donald Trump's behavior at the criminal trial, where he's now been convicted on 34 separate felony counts. And I could show you dozens of reporters who have said this, but Lisa Rubin, a reporter I respect, was in the courthouse. And this was recorded late April as the trial was halfway through or so, maybe a little bit less. And Lisa Rubin was talking about the various methods Trump's lawyers had to use because Donald Trump kept on falling asleep. So just think about all of this behavior. The foaming of the mouth, the spitting, the waving to non-existent people, the praising non-existent cannibal murderers, randomly asking for Tic Tacs during speeches, falling asleep during criminal trial. Play this clip.
Really quickly, if I can, Lisa, your observations on Donald Trump today.
Sleeping. Again,
Sleeping.
You know, they have tried a number of different devices. Yeah, sleeping for a lot of it. I would say they've tried a number of different devices to keep Trump awake, partially in response, or what appears to be in response to collective press corps observations. So, for example, when there are sidebars, an attorney doesn't leave his side anymore because leaving him alone means leaving him to potentially sleep. He has a stack of papers with him at all times now to go through. But neither of those things seem to have protected Trump from his own exhaustion today, more than not, when I looked up to see how Trump was receiving the testimony, Trump was not receiving it at all because his eyes were closed.
And then we know from public records requests and recent reports as well, including a government report prepared by the Office of Inspector General for the Defense Department, that Donald Trump's White House was turned into a pill mill, quite literally, with very serious drugs that were being passed around. Everything from kind of fentanyl to look at the list right here of all of these like really, really hard drugs. I mean, they have ketamine, they've got the drug that forms the date rape drug. I mean, they have all this stuff that's going around the White House. And, the White House was giving all these unauthorized medication. And so I think that one of the things that Donald Trump is very worried about, as well as, in the probation report and in connection with sentencing in the Manhattan District Attorney criminal case, Donald Trump's going to have to pee in a cup, and he's going to get tested for drugs. As a convicted felon, he's going to have to go through that process. And a lot of his behavior, I'm just saying, is raising flags. I'm not suggesting that I know for a fact. I'm just saying you use your judgment here. And just take a look at Donald Trump from this interview that he gave with Fox this past weekend, where he's asked whether or not he would declassify certain files like the Epstein files. Watch the fear that just comes over him. Here, play this clip.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
Yeah, and so let me show you this clip one more time that I showed you at the outset, because you'll see, this looks like a very, Very sick human. Here, play this clip.
And we will take back our country on November 5th, 2024. On November 5th, 2024. 2024.
Yeah, and here's it one more time. Here, play this clip.
And we will take back our country on November 5th, 2024. On November 5th, 2024. 2024.
Anyway, tell me what you think, but this is what he's posting of himself. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers. Thanks to your support. Thanks for watching.
Enough! Send him to the big house, not the White House. Get the new exclusive tees, mugs, and stickers right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.